welcome. I have a product close-up for you today and also a bit of a card share using the Sunny Studio Autumn 2018 release. I have a couple of the stamp and die sets, and also I have two of the paper packs that they came out with as well, which are amazing. And I've been working with them this week. If you have been watching any of my live stream videos, for the past 2 weeks, I've been working with these on the live stream. So some of this stuff might look familiar if you've caught those. So this is more of just the formal show off for anybody that may have missed those long and chatty and slow going live streams. Here are two of the paper packs that I picked out. They did come out with several more beyond this and just some gorgeous papers. And I won't do a flip through right now because they do a pretty good preview of what's in the packages here. Just 6x6 papers. These are really nice quality, fun patterns. You've got just this one I picked because I loved all the different rainbow striped ones. And then of course I liked all these sort of harlequin check colors as well, and then some coordinating papers in the wood grain print and also the argyle print. So I absolutely loved these, and I even have some scraps left over that I made sure to slip right into the plastic packaging here. I didn't save, you know, the tiny micro pieces of scraps, but some good pieces that I could still do some projects with. I slipped them right into the plastic that they came in, and these are not bound. They're all individual loose sheets within the plastic, so I kind of like the way that Sunny Studio does their paper. Also, they stay nice and clean and dust free in the plastic, so definitely, especially if you're the type to hoard your paper and hang on to it for a really long time, sparingly using a piece here and there. Definitely consider hanging onto the plastic and putting the paper back in the plastic. It just helps to protect it. So anyway, so I wanted to do some projects showcasing these adorable papers. Sorry, I can't seem to speak today. Blah. So here are three of the stamp sets that I picked out from the release. It was a huge release. They have a ton of products. If I had $1,000,000,000,000,000, I would have purchased everything. I picked out, because what interests me the most is stamping and coloring and die cutting. I picked out three of those sets that I could use to build scenes, and I figured I could use all of these together to sort of one big large autumn stamp set, if you will, and that's exactly what I did with the cards. So I'll just go ahead and do a quick close-up for all of these. This one is called Happy Harvest. I love, love, love this big gorgeous tree, and these sunflowers, I adore them. This is probably going to be a set that I'm going to hang on to a very long time. When I was actually getting to use it, I didn't really use the sentiments too much yet. I might still work with other projects, but I found that these sentiments for what I was doing weren't really for me. Maybe someday, who knows, but I did end up using a lot of the sentiments from the other sets to kind of build to make sentiments. Anyway, not complaining, it's great to have them. I just didn't happen to use many of these sentiments, as you'll see. And of course I grabbed the coordinating dies for these. Cutting these little things, a big pain in the butt. Great quality dies though, I love Sunny Studio. So this next set is also another large stamp set, and this one is called Fall Kiddos. These are great images to color, they're adorable. Some of these little kiddos, okay, maybe just one of these little kiddos. This one right here in the raincoat or the rain boots would work really great for spring cards as well, kind of spring showers. And of course, it does have some really nice sentiments, and some of them are stained. Don't look at my mess. And I used a lot of these to build different sentiments. I was wishing, as I was building my sentiments on the cards, I was wishing that a lot of the script words were a lot bigger. And if I had more time, which I didn't, I probably would have fired up the Cricut and actually cut larger paper sentiments and then layered up the paper and made some really nice ones. So that's still something I might do. I just didn't happen to have a lot of time. I actually kind of really needed these cards. So, and it took me, as it was, it took me 2 weeks to finish them. So another time. Really nice, and I do like that you can use kind of the sentiments to build together. So here is Fall Kiddos, and the last one that I got is the Home Sweet Gnome. I love puns. These ones are absolutely adorable, and my favorite image here is the pumpkin, and probably the little caterpillar here is adorable as well, but this fabulous pumpkin house and gnomes. I love everything gnome. This kind of reminded me a little bit of my friend Betsy, who talks about how her mother loved mushrooms. So it makes me think of her. So I made sure to save her a card as well that I will send her for Thanksgiving. And as you can see, I used a couple of these sentiments, and I used them with the other sets to kind of build my own little sentiments. So there we are for what I picked out for the Sunny Studio line. In these cards, I pulled together a couple of other things that we'll kind of go through as we see them. It looks like I have 6 different cards to show you. Let me just get these to the side. Now again, I did all of the stamping for all of these cards, and a good chunk of the coloring and some other stuff I did on a live stream. So those 2 videos are available if you look back. I think there's over 2 hours of footage between 2 different live streams with just working on stuff. And then there's some things that I did off camera as well. I finished some coloring. I did the die cutting off camera. I built a couple of these cards off camera just because I'm really a slow crafter. It probably took me, a good 6 hours to make all of these, and I'm certainly not going to subject anybody to that length of boring. So here's the first card, and this one uses that big, beautiful tree from Happy Harvest, and then of course the children from Fall Kiddos, and of course that gorgeous paper. All of the coloring for this I did with my Spectrum Noir markers, and I'm not a very good colorist, but I do have fun with just my very basic blending. I did do some details with a white gel pen. A couple of Nuvo drops here and there. I used foam tape to give a little dimension to a couple of different pieces here, just to kind of make it pop out. There's those gorgeous sunflowers. I really loved this one. I used a scrap of paper that I had from another card. These are double-sided papers, so I was sure to check both sides of my scraps to see if there's anything that I could use. This gorgeous brown paper with the polka dots in the background, and the sentiment that I used on this one is "May our lives be full of thanks and giving." I thought that was a nice one. The background on this one is color blended on Bristol Smooth cardstock. I used some Distress Oxide inks, and I think, of course I've since put the colors away, but I think I've used Abandoned Coral and Wild Honey is what I did for my blending on this background. So that's the first card, and the second card I used mostly images from Home Sweet Gnome. Absolutely adorable. Again, I used some foam tape to kind of bring a little bit of dimension. I've got some white gel pen accents on here. Die cut the hills in the background with some scraps, and the sentiment here is "Greetings, what's up, Nomi?" Cracks me up. This rainbow paper, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I loved everything about this paper, and again, that colored background, and I did a couple of paper piece trees in the background as well, and a mushroom. I stamped and colored everything, like one of everything, and then I laid them all out and I kind of separated them into different cards, and that's kind of how I came up with what I was doing. All together I used them. Okay, so this next card is again using the Home Sweet Gnome set. I had a couple of more gnomes. Very inadvertently, this one kind of looks like Santa and this one looks like a leprechaun. I didn't do that intentionally. That's just kind of the way that it turned out. Oh well, I'm happy with it. These mushrooms here, and I put, again, some little accents with a white gel pen on here. Adorable. This little bird. Super cute. Everything about this card that I love. I used some of that green argyle paper in the background, and then I had some scraps from that green wood grain paper that I thought would look really nice as a hill. And then some scraps from this card that I just showed you. Some of those rainbow stripes, that I used those to match sort of the back of the sentiment here, and it's "Gnome One Makes Me Smile Like You Do." Super cute. And this one I used some foam just to kind of prop the whole thing up. Give it a lovely sense of occasion. I love that one. This one is also a favorite. This one is Harvest Greetings, and I have 2 children. Kind of the scene that I set up is playing in an apple orchard. There's a lovely bird here. The children are colored kind of with the same colors with the bird. That's kind of why I thought they belonged on a card together. I've paper pieced a couple of trees in the background, and I made little apples on the trees using tiny little drops of Nuvo drops. I think it was my red berry Nuvo drops that I used. I really loved the way that turned out, and I know you can't really see it so much on camera, but it gives it a little bit of dimension and a little bit of sparkle and shine when you move it, just a little bit of interest. And again, with the beautiful background paper. This background is also ink blended. Oh, and this one was too. I did them at the same time, just using blues, and I think this is peacock feathers. I thought we needed a nice blue sky. This is probably another one of my favorites. Nuvo drops for the win. Okay, speaking of Nouveau drops, I have this one here, this child with the pumpkin and the mushroom, and again, just the white gel pen accents and a little mushroom here. I ended up with a couple of little extra mushrooms after I sorted everything out, and I decided instead of just saving them, I would find a place for them. I really loved the way that the background looks with these sunflowers. I love it, and a couple of just Nouveau drops. And this one says enjoy the simple things, and this is white heat embossed on a little piece of scrap. And I used that wood grain in the teal for the background, and then the coordinating teal in the argyle plaid for the hill. Love it. And the last card, again, this one is slightly different. This one is an inked background, but I did sprinkle it with some water. I was going for, because this is the little girl that has the umbrella and her galoshes and raincoat on, I was going for kind of like a rainy day background, but I didn't want to bring any gray or any clouds into it. I just thought that it would kind of ruin the cheerfulness of the paper. So I thought that by splashing some water on the Distress Oxide background, it might achieve kind of the effect. I don't know. What do you guys think? My other thought was that I could put some drops of like Nouveau Crystal Glaze on it or something to look like raindrops falling. I'm not sure if this card is done or not. I'm still thinking on that. I'm not entirely sure that rainy day comes across, but that is how I did try to pull off the look, was with water on my Distress Oxide background. And we have that adorable little caterpillar who just was begging to be used. So I put him on a little stump here, and just a little girl dancing in the rain. And the sentiment on this one is time spent playing is never wasted. I did mess up a little bit on the stamping and the heat embossing on playing here. It got a little messed up, but look at how adorable this rainbow heart paper is in the background. Super cute. And again, propped up with foam on this one. So there you go. That is my card share. I had an absolute blast with these. They're definitely going to be keepers for me. I don't see myself destashing these ever. I love them, and I look forward to more things from Sunny Studio. And here's another quick look at the paper. I hope that you've enjoyed and you have been inspired. And thanks very much for spending some time with me. We will talk another time. Take care. Bye.